Good morning, prim6. I miss you so much. I hope you are fine. Let's start our grammar lesson. Now we are taking defining relative pronouns. Let's say the following examples. This is the man who spoke to me on the bus. This is the lady who I saw eating lunch. What do you observe here? Before the word who, what did I use? A person or an object? A man is a person, right, great. Okay, in the second example, before the word who, the lady here is an object or a person? Yes, it's a person. So that's why I used who. So who is used for objects or person? Yes, it's for persons. Let's say this. This is the child that was playing on the street. I used that, right? And before the word that, what did I use? Yes, the child, and the word child here is a person or an object. Yes, it's a person. So we observe here we used who and that for persons. Great. And we call them defining relative pronoun for people. So a defining relative pronoun is who and that now. And you see, here in this clause, who spoke to me on the bus, this is called defining relative clause. But who only, it's called defining relative pronoun. Like here in the second example, where is the defining relative pronoun? Yes, who is defining relative pronoun? And where is defining relative clause? Yes, it's who I saw eating lunch. Great! Let's see another defining relative pronouns. These are the trees which I planted last year. This is the bag which I bought. This is the cat which I love the most. Observe the words directly before the defining relative pronouns. Like here, the trees. The trees here is an object or a person. Yes, it's an object, so we use which. See here, the bag. This is the bag which I bought. Before the word which, you see the bag, right? And the bag is an object or a person. Yes, it's an object, so we use which. See here, this is the cat which I love the most. I used which, right? Why? Because there is a cat, and the cat is an animal. So we observe here, we use which for objects and animals. Great. See the following sentence. This is the food that I ate yesterday. I used that, right? And before the word that, I use food. Great. And food is an object or a person? Yes, it's an object, and we used that. We observe that we use which and that for objects and animals. Great. We call them defining relative pronoun for things and animals. Which and that. Let's see the following defining relative pronouns. This is the place where I found the money. This is the hospital where I was born. So, what do you observe here? We use where, right? And before the word where, what do we see here? Place, right? And also, here in hospital, it's a place. So we use where with places or objects. Yes, we use it for places. So after the places, we use where. So before the defining pronoun where, we should see a place, okay? So it's called defining relative pronoun for places, where. Let's see another type of defining relative pronoun. I have a friend whose car is a Ferrari. This is the house whose door is red. What do we see here in whose? Why did we use whose? See here, the friend has a car. So, I have a friend Whose car is a Ferrari? Because the car belongs to the friend. See another example. This is the house whose door is red. The house has a door, right? And the door is in the house. So they are part of each other's, right? So if you see things like this, we will use whose. Be careful. After the defining relative pronoun whose, we must see a noun because it's a possession. Like here, whose is used for possessions and it must be followed by a noun. Like this, I have a friend whose is a Ferrari. Can I say this? No. Why? Because after whose I must see a noun and there is no noun here, so it's wrong. So whose is used for possessions. And what the meaning of possessions is something that owns something else. Like a friend, he owns the car. The house owns the door, like house has a door in it. So we use whose here. So that's called defining relative pronoun for possessions, whose. Now, which verses where? Sometimes you will be confused. Do I have to use which or I have to use where? Now we will see how we can differentiate between them. See here. This is the city I live. This is the city I live in. This is the city I like. This is the bag I put my books. Now in the first example, this is the city I live. I live where? In the city, right? I used a preposition here, right? And there is a place. So this is the city, a place. I live. I live in the city. So your answer has a preposition, right? If your answer has a preposition, so you will use where. So like this. This is the city where I live. See the next example. This is the city I live in. I live in where? The city. And the city here, your answer has no preposition, right? So you will not use where, but you will use which. So like this. This is the city which I live in. Why did I use which? Because you said I live in and your answer is the city. See another example. This is the city I like. I like what? The city, right? Did you use a preposition? No, we didn't use a preposition here in your answer, right? So I use what? Yes, which. So this is the city which I like. This is the bag I put my books. I put my books where? In the bag. Great. I used a preposition in my answer, right? So I will use where or which. Yes, where. So this is the bag where I put my books. By this way, you can differentiate between using where and which. Let's see another exercises. Complete with defining relative pronouns. Who, which, that, whose, or where. See here in the first example. These are the children. Hate chocolate. These are the children. The children here is a person or an object? Yes, it's a person. So we will use what? Who or what? That. Great. The second example. They live in a house. Roof is full of holes. Yes, house is an object. But you see here, house has a roof, right? And roof is a noun. Yes, whose? So they live in a house whose roof is full of holes. Why did we put whose? Because after whose, there is a noun, roof, right? It's not a verb. And a house has a roof. And we said if we say this, we will put whose. Great. See the third example. An elephant is an animal. lives in hot countries. Yes, we will see this animal, and it's not a person. And we said, what is the defining relative pronoun that we use it for animals? Yes, which. So we will use which or that. Great. See the last example. Let's go to a country. The sun always shines. The sun always shines. Okay, here. Country is an object or a person or a place. Yes, it's a place. So we will use the defining relative pronoun for place. And see here, the sun always shines where? In this country, right? So in my answer, I use a preposition. And this is a place. So I will use where. Great. You did it so well. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.